And I was wondering where this. I was just saying to Jim, it's all going too swimmingly well. So welcome along, guys. You are in the Moose Medicine Show Radio, Moose Mobile, with me, Rob Ellen, and streaming in from New Mexico with the wonders of modern science, Jim Jones, with a brand new album. It's a gorgeous piece of work, Jim. So congratulations on that as well. Just to welcome everybody along, we've got a nice audience with us as well. So thank you for tuning in. And might be nice to know where you guys are tuning in from as well. If you do that in the comments on the page that you are viewing on the R15 outlets, so some of them work, some of them don't. But if you do, it might come through the studio and we can pass it on to Jim. Any questions as well as we go along? Because we're going to talk about cowboys, aren't we, Jim?
Yes, indeed.
I think we are.
Yes, we are.
We've got a lot in common as far, apart from the fact I've had the cowboy up tonight to
and you look good. You look good.
Oh, thank you. You do as well. It's very sharp. So you've got a guitar ready as well. It's always the best, I find anyway, it's always the best way to introduce onto the show with a song of their choice. Is this from the album, Jim?
It is. It's a song that I wrote with my friend from the trio Cowboy Way that came over to Scotland in 2019, my friend Mariam.
Nice.
And it's the story of a former slave who became a well-known cowboy and a master at training wild horses, Mustangs. And he became known as the Mustanger. So that's the name of the song. And here it is.
Very cool.
To know what freedom really means, try starting out a slave. No choice, no chance, only change from the cradle to the grave. But a hand up beats a hand out every single time. So you head west, find a friend, one who's colorblind. He could pay your wages, share his name, he could treat you like a man. Show you the ways of cattle, he could help you make a hand. But there's a special gift you had, who knew from whence it came. So with work and luck, grit and pluck, you earned yourself a name, Mustanger. All alone you'd ride out, become one with the herd. Through Through rain and dust you'd earn their trust without a single word. You'd climb on that old lead stallion, ride him till he's through. Take control of their hearts and souls, then they'd follow you. Mustanger. Out on Wild Horse Mesa, along the Rio Grande, those Mustangs made their home in that raw, unsettled land. A lone and lanky figure in weather foul and fair. Through the thunder's crash and the lightning's flash, you were always there. When the wind and rain fan their fears, that's when you take the lead. At first they'd spook and shy a bit, that's the nature of the breed. They'd rear and boil and circle, unsure, but in the end, you'd lead those mares and colts to a downrange holding pen. Mustanger. All alone you'd ride out, become one with the herd. Through rain and dust you'd earn their trust without a single word. You'd climb on that old lead stallion, ride him till he's through. Take control of their hearts and souls, then they follow you. Mustanger. You learned to read and write, you learned your numbers too, made some money, bought a ranch. Ain't much that you can't do, but you were always part of the herd. You didn't like living alone, so you found a wife, made a life, made a family of your own. Mustanger. All alone you'd ride out, become one with the herd. Through rain and dust you'd earn their trust without a single word. You'd climb on that old lead stallion, ride him till he's through. You'd take control of their hearts and souls, then they follow you. Mustanger. They called it the Mustanger. Bob Lemons was his name.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Great story song. I do love a story song. Fantastic. I'm gonna have to actually research up on Bob. What was his second name again?
Lemons. Lemons.
Yeah, and was that after the Civil War? He was was released. So did he learn all his cowboy skills as a cowboy, or was he working as a cowboy when he was a slave?
No, he wasn't. He came out and he met a man who owned a ranch, whose name was Lemons, and the man took him in and taught him how to be a cowboy. But the thing, he learned those skills from this rancher guy, but he just had an innate natural ability with horses, and it's almost magical, mystical the way some of those folks can do that, because most of us can't. Yeah. But they really just have a communication that's amazing.
I have a feeling you can. Can you remember the first time you climbed on a horse, Jim?
I remember as a kid being like 10 or 11 and being on a horse and being scared to death because I'm trying to keep up and not fall off. And
yeah.
So you do fall off, and
well, it's all part of the process as well. So what's your background in cowboying?
Well, I have to, in fair disclosure, I don't consider myself an honest to goodness real cowboy, because I have really good friends who are cowboys, and they do things that I could never do. They've taught me a lot. I've certainly done some cowboying, but I'm not really a cowboy like my buddy Randy Houston, or even Doug Figgs for that matter.
those guys are the real deal. And I'm a real Westerner though, so I'm a native Texan and everything. So
native Texan. Now and I appreciate you coming in. You're beaming in from New Mexico, near Albuquerque. You tell me,
right?
As well. Let's talk about the album, Jim.
Okay.
What was the process? How did that kick off? Because again, last thing I saw that you were involved in was a novel, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And then did that inspire the album, or did it inform writing that novel?
Not so much. I think what it was, the last album that I actually of all new original music I released in August of 2021. Almost said 1921, but I'm not that old. But so I was ready to do something, and I just had this idea that I wanted to. Well, actually, it's funny. Let me back up, because when you talked about the novels, something I realized is that I'm not just a singer-songwriter. I'm not just a writer or an author. I'm a storyteller. I've always done that. And I thought, well, that's what this next album that I do should be. It should be stories that I'm about the West, particularly like stories like the one I just told, which are about people who most people don't know about. You've heard enough songs about Billy the Kid to choke a horse, but there were other people, in the West who are probably far more interesting than Billy the Kid. We'll probably get some responses to that, but and so that's what I did, and I co-wrote
in Albuquerque.
Yeah. So I co-wrote most of the songs. I wrote a couple by myself. Then I co-wrote others. My friends Ren and Andy Renfree, the Renfrees. Andy and I wrote a song about a woman who was the first cattle rancher in the Panhandle of Texas. It became well known for that, and just a bunch of songs like that. The stories of people that you wouldn't necessarily know about.
Yeah, it's intriguing for me, and I'm really happy that it's worked this way around, because I have visited Texas and I haven't got to New Mexico yet. And when I travel, I like to find stories. I like to find these things that you just explained that I don't get taught in school, that doesn't come up in the curriculum, but these people are as much heroes of that situation as is Admiral Nelson, or they're ordinary people that have created something very special. Now, your album has I was saying that I'm going to have to research about the Mustanger, but the whole album is like a book in every song. So thank you. Congratulations for that. I might just follow the album around America the next time I get over there. It's lovely piece of work, and I've noticed on the front cover you've got Storyteller, Tales of the West,
right?
Which it's the name of the album, and it is what it does in the tin, really. Yeah. So let's come back, talk a bit more about the album. I also want to talk about your experiences in the Highlands and the documentary that's coming as well, which I'm really excited about. And we'll get another song at some point, but at this point, released to the media here in Europe at the very least, and as many places in America as possible, is the Cowboy Heart, which we're saying is a single. It's a focus track from the album for the media in any way. So I'm going to play the video, or at least I'm going to attempt to play the video, and internet willing, it's going to work. So we'll bring it up there. There it's there, look. That's front cover. And who's the horse, Jim? Is it
that's, I have to admit, that's a stock image that my cover designer found, and I don't know that horse in the moon.
I was wondering if it was your horse.
No.
But so that's the video. I'm going to bring that up. Tell us about the video. It's a collection of family tell us in your words.
Okay, I wrote this song with my friend Deanna McCall, she is an amazing poet, songwriter, author, and she's more cowboy than most of the cowboys you'll ever meet. She's been doing it since she was a little girl, and it's essentially the story of her life about how the rest of her siblings didn't go into ranching and being cowboys. They went down other paths, and she stuck with it. And we kind of talked about that, and it's like it's just something that she thinks it's sort of in her genes, in her genetic makeup, and so we put this together, and all the pictures are of her and her husband, who's also been a cowboy his entire life, and their daughters and their son. And they're the most amazing people. I'm so proud to have them as my friends, Deanna and Dave McCall.
So the sound seems to be cracking up a little bit, so I do apologize to everybody that's viewing. We've got a nice audience tonight, and good spread across all the pages of the network, and one or two from your page as well, Jim. So you've got some fans.
Yeah.
Anyway, that are tuned in. So wherever you are, thanks for tuning in. I have put something on the chat frame as well. So if you have any questions or just want to tell us where you're tuning in from, that would be fabulous. There's the video down there in the bottom right-hand corner. I'm going to start that up, and I'll probably mute you for a while with the way that it is, and we'll bring you back in once we have a look at the video.
You were the only one to stay. They only walked the way when no one else was there. You always did your part to tend the land, the horses and cattle. You were the one to hang around. You were the one with a cowboy heart. You were the one to make a brand in the cowboy. It was written in the DNA. You were the one with a cowboy heart. You got in your blood, cowboy in your heart. I'm getting you will never who you are. You work your grandpa's land, all the others away. 'Cause you were born and right. You were born with boy pride. There was never a choice, you were made. Long days in the heat and cold, a mighty quick way to grow old. But there's joy in a newborn cat. You never asked, you're really meant to be, you couldn't tell you try. You got boy in your blood, cowboy in your heart. no mistake, you to this land. You know who you are. Not a cowboy heart. You got cowboy in your blood. You got cowboy in your heart. From the beginning, you understood. 'Cause you were bred from the start. With the wind in your face, raising your hand. No mistake, you won't do this. You know who you are. Not a cowboy heart.
Okay. Okay, apologies for more than one thing. We didn't get the video. We did get the song. And I seem to have got lost somewhere. So I'm coming back. And now I've got apologies. Apologies. And I've lost Jim as well. And I've lost Jim as page has just gone down. So what I'm going to do, Jim, if you can still hear me, I'm going to root everything and come back. Stay with us, guys. Technical difficulties at this end, but we'll get back to studio at some point. And another song from Jim in a bit more chat. So just in case, listen. All right. So we're back, and thank you for staying with us, guys. I do appreciate it. I just don't know what's gone wrong at the moment. So let's with that. Let's see if I can bring Jim on. Anyway.
I can see me.
Why did I do this to myself night after night? We are live again. The studio is playing the good though. Lose some of these windows. Jim, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes. Yes. Private chat. Don't you just love technology? Okay. I don't know if I'm. This might be. I don't know if anybody can see me or hear me other than me, but since I like to hear myself talk sometimes, I just have to say I just love Rob Ellen.
So, trying to get into the studio again. But it out of
his passion for music, so he reaches out.
At this end, I'm looking at myself here, but if I am not, according to the computer, it should be, which is putting everything together, should be within just a minute. Once the computer says yes. Joining the studio now. Last time I did this, there was about 3 or 4 other windows open. It's the same. Well, I'm back online. And what I'm going to do is get rid of that echo being really again, apologies for this. Can you hear me, Jim?
I can, yes.
So I have no idea why we have got such a double back echo. Yeah. And the connection was lost. So, Jim, can I ask you, while I've got you, to sing us a song, and then I'll leave. You should, as soon as I can. Thank you. Thanks for doing this. Sorry for the technology, audience, and so thank you everybody for your patience.
What song am I
What do you
introducing?
fancy, Jim?
I could do a song that Alan Chapman and I wrote called Rockin' Chair. If that's okay.
Horrible echo.
Yeah. Yeah, you're about half frozen, so you're talking real slow. So
right. So I think I've solved the problem. It was
good.
because it all opened up in another window behind this window. Anyway, that's information that people don't know. Can you hear me now, Jim?
I can hear you.
Well, thank you, as I was saying to everybody as well. Thanks for your patience. And let's just carry on as we are just now. The album's out now, isn't it, Jim?
It is, yes. Yep, it's available at my website.
It's available to listen to at your website?
Yes. Yeah,
and available to buy there as well?
Yes, it is. In fact, I prefer it that way.
I know, don't we all? Isn't it nice when you open your mailbox and somebody has actually either donated or tipped or bought an album?
That's true.
And I'm sure you've got boxes of them there ready to go out. I know you've been very busy as far as that is concerned.
Yeah, that's true.
So, okay, so this is from the album. Before we do, and it's something that I will ask you to do, you're going to record a song that's very dear to my heart, and that actually probably how we got working together as well. It's a song about the Highland Drovers, and it's A Cowboy I Will Be. You won an award with this song as well, which just my heart just burst with pride when I heard that as a fact. Tell us a bit of the background of the song. It's going to be we're going to hold that for patrons of the patron members of iMTV. We do exclusive tracks for them as well as a special thank you, and it's always my pleasure to thank those folks, because it's basically for those that contribute in that way and by donation. It's how we get around really these days. So again, thanks for that. You're going to do this track for our patrons, and I thank you for that as well. Jim, tell us a bit about the background of the song.
Well, it's a song about the connection between the Scottish drovers from the Highlands and the cowboys of the American West. And I wanted to write a song about Scottish cowboys because I knew there had been some, but I didn't know that much about it. And when I started researching it, that's when I found out about the clearances that took place for over 100 years in the Highlands. And the drovers ended up having to leave because they couldn't make a living. And many of them came out west and became cowboys. And so this is their story. It's a great story. One of the great stories about the West and the people that came out and made it what it is still today. And that's the story of It's a Cowboy I'll Be. Did you want me to tell the story about the song I'm going to do?
You know what? We'll go into more depth. I'm just worried now. I'm nervous now. We'll go into more depth on the story and the song itself on the patron site. Now, if anybody wants to be a patron member and unlock this particular song, it's only a couple of dollars. You can do that and get through and find out more about the story. So I do appreciate you doing that as well. We'll now concentrate on this. And is this from the album as well? This song that you're going to sing for us just now. Tell us a bit about this one, Joe. Okay,
it's the last song on the album. It winds things up. It's a song I co-wrote with my good friend Alan Chapman, who's a wonderful songwriter. It's when he sent me some of the lyrics, I thought it was kind of strange, and it took me a while to kind of figure out what we were writing about. It's called Rockin' Chair, and there's several different meanings to the word rockin'. You know, when we were younger, we were rocking, and as we get older, we spend a lot of time rocking too. But usually, it's in a chair, and mostly we're rocking in our heads more than anything. But this is a song about you know, growing old gracefully and having a good time while you're doing it. And it's called Rockin' Chair. So
if I had a good rocking chair, I could stop and rest a while. Let my pony graze in the meadow while I drifted down the Nile. If I had a good rocking chair, I could sail the 7 seas to the land of Kublai Khan, maybe learn to speak Chinese. If I had a good rocking chair. If I had a good rocking chair, I'd float higher than a cloud. Look down upon the prairie, shout my name out loud. If I had a good rocking chair, I could dream of one true love. She wouldn't care that I was lazy, she would fit me like a glove. If I had a good rocking chair. Sometimes you want to stay still, just taking your life in. Sit and smile, rock a while, and get on up again. 'Cause there's always more adventures waiting up the road. When that rocking spirit moves you, you just never know when you need a good rocking chair. That growing old don't bother me, I'll slow down someday. There's so much more I want to see if I'd rock my life away. If I had a good rocking chair, I'd strap it to my pony's back, point us toward the Rockies, never would look back. Climb the highest peaks, look down upon the world, holding hands with my true love. She's a sure rocking girl. Life would be so sweet, it would make my gray hair curl. If I had a good rocking chair. Sometimes you want to stay still, just taking your life in. Sit and smile, rock a while, get on up again. 'Cause there's always more adventures waiting up the road. When that rocking spirit needs you, you just never know when you need a good rocking chair. I could use a good rocking chair. We all need a good rocking chair. Rocking chair.
It's the Cowboy Way. It's Jim Jones, and we are here on iMTV, doing my best to launch your album for you, Jim. I do apologise for the technical glitches to everybody who was viewing as well. Nice audience. It's nice to have you with us, guys. And thanks again for your patience as far as everything goes. Again, if you comment on the comment area on the page that you're watching on, we'll have a look and answer any questions at a later date as well. What I'll do, Jim, is I'll download this and edit it and release it again. We'll broadcast it again. We've got it in the archive, and we have the extra bit for the patrons as well. I do appreciate you doing that. What have you got on today? Because we're drawing to the end of the day here in the Highlands of Scotland, but you're just starting your day. So what's up? What have you got today?
I'm working on another book, and I'm going to do some editing this afternoon, and so that's what I'm doing. I've got more work to do.
All creative stuff as well. Well, thanks very much, Jim. Oh yeah, you're going to the post office to send me some CDs to go out to the media. Yeah, so that's coming. If you are involved in the media, and I know some folks do tune in as well, we've got this as a digital download. We've got the album as a digital download, and we do have the Cowboy Heart from the album as a single. We can send that to you today. If you prefer a CD, it's going to take 10 days to land, but you are sending them to Mary Kathleen Burke. That's MKB Radio in Glasgow, and I'll be hooking up with her. The next thing that we hope to do is Health and Happiness Hour on Mary Kathleen Burke's network, which is syndicated all over Ireland and a whole load of other places. So please do join us there at some point. Myself, personally, I've 2 days here in Fife. We're doing a session tomorrow from the Moose. I'm actually at basically Scotland's premier studio here in Rosyth, good friends of ours, Substation Studio. They've got all sorts of interesting stuff going on in the studio just now that we're hooked up to. So tomorrow I'll be doing a little bit with those guys and finding out what they're all up to. There's 5 rehearsal rooms going off at the moment just across here. And then I've been invited up to Celtic Connections for Showcase Scotland. So we're going to be dipping in and out of Celtic Connections, which is our biggest roots music, folk music festival. So plenty to keep me occupied and plenty for iMTV to be broadcasting over the next week and months. And then I'm heading south, Jim, with the I've forgotten how cold Scotland can be in the winter. It's 7 years since I've been here. I haven't been to Celtic Connections for 7 years, so I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, we're heading south after that, and there is a QR code on screen now if you want to support the stream as it is just now. Your support is very much appreciated, and I do appreciate your help with all of that as well, Jim. It's
sure.
It's very much appreciated, and I'm so looking forward to helping out with this album. I think it's going to go down a storm. Oh, we should talk about our good friend who's supporting you and the album on this release, and that is Brian Kellenick and Berkline Records as well. Tell us a bit. Tell us a bit about how you two got hooked up, because we met first. I don't know if you remember this. We first met in Brian's house.
Yes, and that was an interesting story too. But I met Brian at the Southwest Regional Folk Alliance, and we hit it off and got to be friends. And didn't find out until a couple of years later that we both grew up in the same town. We grew up in Beaumont, Texas. You couldn't tell it by looking at us, but I'm a little older than he is, and I hope he's watching. But and we had all these mutual friends, and so we've done lots of shows together. And so when this new album came out, he invited me to release it on Berkline Records. But I met you at Brian's house along. And Brian and I had played a gig and had come in at a decent hour because we were getting on in age, and so we were ready to go to bed. And you came in with a couple of rounders, Libby Koch and Chuck Hawthorne, who've also have been at Belladrum Festival and everything. And y'all were ready to play music and carouse, and that was my first contact with Rob.
Did we keep the whole house up? I think we probably did. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Well, it was Providence, Jim. I have to say. And the thing about Brian, and I know he's selective about the releases. You are in a the high echelons of Texas music, as far as Berkeley Records is concerned, his back catalogue is astonishing.
Yes, it is. Amazing singer-songwriters on that label.
And his own stuff as well. Amazing singer.
And his own stuff, absolutely.
Tim Henderson. At the moment, he's got Tom Paxton and Dan Bowling doing the word rounds as well as his own record. And that's getting end of year notice all over the place as well. I'm delighted for him in that record. It's a real breakout one for him as well. So we'll send this all out to Brian. Thank him for the work that he does, because basically he keeps the revolving door open for musicians in Houston, doesn't he?
Yes,
he'll find you a gig. He'll even come and do the sound and open up for you and everything. Everything about it. He's an extraordinary character.
Yep.
And he comes, and we had him at Belladrum this last year, Willoughby Coke, before mentioned as well. So looking forward to seeing you all again at some point. Let's hope you're in Texas when we get there, but we'll come and see you in New Mexico anyway. I want to see some of these places that you also in the documentary, but also that you mentioned through your album as well. And I do appreciate all of that. Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for being with us. Thank you for your support. And we'll catch you. We'll be back same time, same place, same click of the mouse. We'll be back here with iMTV tomorrow.
All right.